He hurt his MCL last play of practice yesterday. Should be back sometime this year, though.
There at the start of practice yesterday.
Was it yesterday? Sorry, 2 days ago. Last play of Wednesday, yeah.
Do you know what the corresponding move is going to be yet?
I got a good idea, but we haven't made it official yet, so I can't say.
You say surgery.
He does not need surgery.
So are you looking at 2 month time
I
frame?
think, I know you guys hold me to all this stuff, and Eric, I'm not a doctor. I think it's 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. Yes.
You said 6 to 8 weeks. I don't remember that.
I know.
I don't ask this question to be a jerk, but there's a point to this. When the play Purdy got hurt in the NFC Championship game, what would you call the route Ayuk was running? Was there anything special to it?
Call it a Rico. Yeah. That was a new route we put in for that week, so we just made it up. It was off some song we heard. Yeah.
And he had won that route. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was a big one. Ran a couple times in the game, too. I think Debo had one, too. He had one big on, just couldn't get to him.
You put in for that game?
Yep, for that look. Yeah, it was an important route. Is that it? I'm waiting for what you're trying to get to.
Real down on this. All right. It's obviously stayed in for this season, yes? Or did you use it in Pittsburgh?
Nope.
I'll be.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, I'm sure there's more to this.
Debo getting the ball twice on a catch and a run. Was that designed, obviously, to go with him right off the bat? Was there a certain kind of message you wanted to
No, we liked those looks, and wanted to get his Debo the first play, the ball in his hands, and the coverage allowed it. But there's a lot of plays like that don't go to him, so it's there's lots of plays designed to go to people. We balance it out pretty good, but it doesn't always work out that way.
You and John have talked in the past about in 2019 when you got Debo trying to pivot more towards physical receivers. How much of that was trying to improve the run blocking and making sure that you have guys who are capable and willing in that aspect?
Not as much. Even smaller guys, I feel like we've always had real willing blockers. That didn't really have much to do with it at all. It's I always thought separation to me is always the biggest strength of receivers. You want guys who can get open versus man coverage and how they're wired with quickness and stuff like that. But I felt sometimes in years past going for those type of guys, we couldn't defeat holding all the time. And not blatant holding, but good holding. When you jam someone, you get your hands on them, you don't let them go because you're in tight. And that was harder with some of the smaller guys, and got a little frustrated with that. Instead of complaining all the time about not having holding calls, we thought it could be beneficial to maybe have a little less of that and get some stronger guys, which didn't have to depend on always not getting held.
Some of the guys in the locker room have said that when Emmanuel Sanders got here in 2019, they felt like he was someone who, like you said, maybe not the biggest guy, but really set the tone. Did you see that in terms of what he brought to the table and guys stepping up in that aspect, the run?
Yeah, Emmanuel is one of my favorite receivers of all time. I think he's one of the most underrated receivers. Emmanuel was great. How good he was in Denver, how good he was in Pittsburgh before. We got him towards the end, but when he came in, he was still, at that time, he was our best separator. He was so good, and he helped those guys a ton. Just not only how he was our best separator, but his conditioning. He never took a play off. It seemed he was dead. It seemed he couldn't go another play. But once that ball snapped, he was full speed. I think he showed a huge standard for that, and him being one of the smaller guys compared to the others, just weight-wise, he didn't turn anything down, and he always had good technique and stuff, and that's all you need to me as a receiver. Good technique and the mindset to do it, paired with everything we do, and it was one of our hardest decisions not to keep Manuel. It was just the age with Kendrick Bourne and stuff and how he was coming on, so we had to make that decision, but I loved Emmanuel.
Brock was talking about the value he got from being a scout team quarterback last year and the things that he learned and what he could add to his toolbox. It's a little different situation for Sam that he's been a starter for so long. I was wondering how you think he's adapting to it, and does having a guy with real similar physical stature to Matthew Stafford help this week?
Yeah, I mean, Sam there's a reason he was the third pick in the draft. I mean, it's his throwing ability. And Stafford, like everyone knows, is as good as there is at that. And to have a guy with his arm strength and can spin it very similar to him, it helps a ton. Not many people can be close to simulating that, and Sam's one of the few people who can. So it's real good for our safeties, good for our linebackers, good for everyone.
Two more, guys.
Where is Luter in terms of his recovery?
I think he's doing a good job. You know, I mean, I don't see him much because he's always working on the side with our medical staff. But again, I don't mind giving dates if you guys don't hold me to him. But I think we're looking like around week 5, week 6 for him. So hopefully that'll keep continuing well.
This is the earliest you faced, I think, the Rams, the 49ers, since 2016. Do you care what time in the year you face them? Is it weird at all facing them that early? Or does
I don't know. I thought it was weird last year that our series between each other was done so early. There was so much more football after we were done. We played them, I think, twice in the first 6 games, maybe 7. This year we're playing them sooner than we have. I think in 19 we played them in week 4 after a Thursday night game or bye week, can't remember. So yeah, this is the earliest, which is a little different, but then we don't play them again until the last week. So we know we'll see what 2 types of teams we are when it gets to the last week. It'll be different for both of us then, and it's still early now, so we totally don't know exactly where either team is at. So there's a little more unknown, and there's a lot more known in the last one.
How much did Brock gain from not playing against the Rams previously, but going through 2 game plans and the preparation of two weeks when he wasn't playing?
I think it's huge. I mean, we always have certain things we got to do versus the Rams, just with some of the problems they present. So he got to see Jimmy go through it twice, and it was cool. So he knew what to expect. He did a hell of a job of it this week. Seemed like he'd been through it 100 times, but it was his first time really going to do it in front of everyone. But it shows that he was always doing it on the side last year when no one was asking him to do it in front of everyone. All right, thanks, guys.